The marble floor reflects the expensive chandelier light. Lush furniture. A flat-screen TV plays with no one watching. Adebanjo, a successful businessman with proud eyes and a cold heart, sits sipping whiskey. His wife, Mojop, comes in quietly with a tray of food. Mojop. Dinner is ready, dear. Adebanjo. Drop it there. She obeys. She tries to smile. Mojop. I was thinking maybe I could start a small clothing shop at the junction. Just something to start with. Adebanjo replied. You want people thinking my wife is hustling on the street. Mojop. But I want to support, even help with the children's school fees. Adebanjo. Coldly. I provide everything. Don't make me regret marrying a village girl. She swallows her words. Bows her head. Leaves the room. Mojop sits beside her children, Simeon of 10 years old and Toby of 7 years old, helping with homework. They laugh together quietly. From outside, we hear a car horn. Loud. Flashy. Adebanjo is outside, hugging a young woman, Tiwa, dressed in a tight red gown. He opens the door for her. She enters like she owns the place. The gateman, confused, greets her. Gateman. Good evening, madam. Tiwa. Smiling. You better get used to seeing me around. I'm not going anywhere. Some months later. A lawyer sits across from Mojop, wearing a sympathetic face. Lawyer said. I'm sorry, Mrs. Adebanjo. Your late husband's will was very specific. He named Tiwa as his next of kin. She inherited the house, the cars, even the business. Mojop stares blankly, numb. Mojop said. But I'm his wife. His children. Lawyer. Quietly. You were never legally added to any documents. Everything is in Tiwa's name. A day after. Mojop and her 2 boys stand outside with their bags. Tiwa's voice comes from inside. Tiwa. Locking the door. You can go to your people's house. This place is no longer your portion. Mojop walks away silently, holding her son's hands. They look back at the house they once called home. A small, dusty space. 1 mattress, 1 fan. Mojop places a pot of rice on a local stove. The boys sit, trying to stay strong. Simeon asked. Mommy, will we go back to our old school? Mojop turns away, wiping tears. You go to a better one day. I promise. Tiwa is now the CEO of Adebanjo's business. She signs papers, flirts with junior staff, spends without care. Laughter and luxury surround her. She didn't just win, she took everything. Mojop now sells pepper and tomatoes. Rain begins to fall. She covers her children with her scarf. Amoka, market neighbor. You, the wife of that big man. Aya, life can turn oh. Mojop forces a smile. Pain sits behind her eyes. Mojop said. He gave her the throne, and left us to beg outside the gate. Simeon and Toby stand outside, unable to enter. The school fees haven't been paid. The school admin said. We are sorry, madam. They can't resume without payment. Mojop nods silently. Shame grips her soul like chains. The boys are asleep. Mojop stares at the ceiling, whispering. Mojop asks God questions. God, is this how our story ends? Is this what loyalty gets in return? She looks at a small framed photo of her husband, once the pride of her heart, now the reason for her fall. In the next morning, Mojop sets up her tomato stall before sunrise. Her hands are dry and rough, her feet tired. But her eyes burn with quiet strength. Amoka, neighbor. You come earlier as if customers are waiting for you in the market. Mojop replied. It will one day. She smiles faintly, wrapping tomatoes with nylon. Simeon and Toby now attend a small public school. Their uniforms are faded, their books torn. But their minds are sharp. Teacher looks at Simeon's essay and asks, "You wrote this yourself?" Simeon: "Yes, Ma. I want to be a lawyer. Like the one that read Daddy's will." The teacher stares at him, surprised. Tiwa, now fully enjoying Adebanjo's wealth, takes selfies, throws money around, and mocks people in the office. She talks to a staff member while polishing her nails. Tiwa, Mr. Adebanjo girl's friend, said, "That woman, Mojop. She and her rats will fade away. Nobody cares about old wives." But behind her laughter, the company is slowly bleeding. Papers pile up, taxes unpaid. One cool evening, Mojop prays silently in the corner. Her clothes are simple, but her voice is filled with purpose. Mojop said, "I am not praying for revenge. I'm praying for restoration. Let my children rise where I fell." An elderly woman taps her shoulder and said, "Woman, God hears mothers like you. Help will come. Just hold on." A year later, Simeon, now 11 years, walks into a lawyer's office with Mojop, his mother. An unknown lawyer said, "You've been coming to clean here every week with your son." "Why?" Mojop replied, "He wants to be like you. And I want him to see what he can become." The lawyer stares at the boy, smart, polite, sharp-eyed. Lawyer told the mother to come back with the son tomorrow. "Let me teach him something." Mr. Adebanjo compound is quiet. Empty wine bottles, unpaid house staff. The generator has stopped working. Tiwa yells on the phone. Tiwa shouts, "What do you mean the business account is frozen?" Voice on phone said, "There were irregularities. And unpaid staff have taken it up with legal aid." She screams and throws the phone. Tiwa said, to herself, "This wasn't supposed to happen." Simeon helps his younger brother Toby study. Mojop watches from afar, smiling. Her hands are calloused, but her heart is healing. Mojop said, "They left us with nothing. But they forgot one thing: you can't bury seeds and not expect a harvest." Mojop sits across from a young female entrepreneur, Ife, who had once bought from her tomato store. Ife said, "I've watched you over the years. Quiet, consistent, humble. I'm looking for women like you to help manage my local food supply chain. Are you interested?" Mojop is stunned. Mojop replied, I am ready." They shake hands. Furniture is being moved out. Auction from Mr. Adebanjo's company. Workers complain about unpaid wages. Tiwa watches silently as the last car drives away. Tiwa said, "He left me the throne, but I didn't know how to rule." Mojop, dressed in a clean blouse and skirt, manages logistics for the food supply company. She writes, coordinates orders, and speaks with grace. Mojop said, "Maybe I was never meant to wear gold robes. But I was always meant to rise." Mojop and her sons visit Adebanjo's grave. No tears this time. Just peace. Simeon: "Mom, do you hate him?" She stares at the grave, long and quiet. Mojop replied, "No, son. I just pity him. He died rich and left us poor. But now I see, the real wealth was never in the bank." She walks away with her sons. In the next morning, Mojop walks in, now respected among the staff. She's no longer the woman who once begged to sell tomatoes. She now manages distribution for multiple market outlets. A photo of her boy sits on her desk. She touches it gently. Mojop said, "They thought they buried us. They didn't know we were seeds." Tiwa now lives in a cramped flat. The noise from neighbors irritates her. Her wig is tangled, her clothes no longer flashy. She checks her phone, unread messages from people asking for refunds. Tiwa thinks within her. Everyone has turned on me. Just because money finished. She sees an old photo of Adebanjo and smiles bitterly. Tiwa said, "He gave me everything. And left me with nothing I could grow." Years later. Simeon, 18 years of age, walks confidently into the office. He now interns officially, wearing a clean shirt and a serious face. He's grown into a focused, brilliant young man. His voice is steady. Simeon said, "I want to specialize in property rights, especially for widows and children like my mom." His boss nods proudly. Toby, 15 years of age, receives a scholarship award for science. Mojop watches from the crowd, tears of joy in her eyes. Host proudly said, "This young man is a shining light from humble beginnings. We congratulate Toby Adebanjo and his mother." People clap. Mojop steps up and hugs her son on stage. Someone brings an envelope to Amoka's tomato store. Courier asked, "Are you Madam Amoka?" Amoka. "Yes." She opens it, a letter from Mojop Food Network. It says, "Thank you for standing by me when I had nothing. I want you to be our market coordinator now. We rise together." Amoka screams with joy. Mojop sits on air, now a public voice for widows and disadvantaged women. Radio host asked, "Madam Mojop, what kept you going?" Mojop, "Faith. And the faces of my sons. I refuse to let a broken man write the end of our story." One cool evening, Tiwa sits alone, watching young girls pass by laughing. Her phone doesn't ring anymore. Her shine is gone. A neighbor whispers to another. "Neighbor. She once had millions. Now, she can't even pay rent." Tiwa closes her eyes, swallowing her pride, but the bitterness remains. Mojop and her sons eat together in their modest but beautiful home. Laughter fills the room. No marble floors. No chandeliers. But peace lives here. Simeon unfolded his good news and said, "Mom, I got accepted for law school abroad on full scholarship." Toby also could not resist his joy. "Mommy, I made it to the science boot camp." Mojop smiles, holding back tears. Mojop said, "Your father gave us his name, but I gave you my strength. Go and change this world." They visit Adebanjo's grave one last time. Simeon said, "Dad, you lost your way. But don't worry. We found ours." Mojop places a small flower on the grave. Mojop said in soft voice, "Rest now. The throne you left behind found its true rulers." A well-dressed Simeon stands confidently before a judge. He's now a qualified lawyer, respected and composed. Across the courtroom sits a young widow, crying silently. Her late husband's family is trying to seize everything. Simeon said, "Your Honor, this case is personal. Years ago, my mother lost everything because she trusted the wrong man. Today, I stand here so no other woman will go through that." The court is quiet. Judge said, "Case ruled in favor of the widow. All property returned." The woman burst into tears. Simeon walks out of court, people clapping as he passes. Toby, the second son of Mrs. Adebanjo, receives a Global Innovation Award in engineering. He's called to the stage, wearing a simple agbada. He lifts the award. Toby said, "All I ever had was my mother's prayers, one pair of school shoes, and hunger to change our name." The audience gives a standing ovation. Mojop sits on her front porch, now gray-haired but glowing. She watches neighborhood kids running around, mothers calling out for breakfast. A car pulls up. Simeon and Toby step out, both looking successful, holding an envelope. Simeon said, "Mom, we bought a house. Your name is on the land title." Toby said. You will never worry again. Mojop stares at the paper. She holds her chest, not from pain, but joy. Mojop said to her children. Your father gave me shame, but you gave me my name back. They hug as neighbors gather to celebrate her. Mojop's voice echoes over the airwaves as she hosts a national program for women called Rise Again. Mojop is live on air. To every woman who was silenced, betrayed, or abandoned, your ending is not in their hands. Let them live. But don't let them take your future. Tiwa, Mr. Adebanjo girl's friend, now sells second-hand clothes by the roadside. A customer negotiates harshly. She forces a smile but glances across the street and sees a billboard. Support Mojop Foundation, restoring dignity to widows. She lowers her head. Not in jealousy anymore, but quiet shame. A brand new bungalow with a garden, built in Mojop's name. Children play in the compound. Simeon waters the flowers. Toby fixes a light. Mojop walks out holding a tray of food, smiling. She now lives in peace, not in marble, but in meaning. If you find this story interesting, please subscribe to this channel, like and comment. Thank you.